Gentlemen, finally, it's been a minute. Welcome to the 2025 Kickstart Invitational podcast, where we dive into the soul of the Kickstart Invitational. I'm, of course, your host, Kyle Steffi, alongside Justin and Carter McPhail. In each episode, we'll be bringing you the latest developments, expert analysis, behind-the-scenes interviews, and exclusive insights of the Kickstart Invitational. It's been a minute. Carter, Justin, how are we doing?
Doing pretty good, Kyle. Happy to be on. I'm doing good. I hit 180-yard forward today, so my game's right where it needs to be. Into the shrubbery. Didn't get it up and down.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of good things for a guy who said that he's in shambles not too long ago today in a certain group chat. Don't know which one.
I mean, yeah, that club's supposed to go 100 yards farther than that.
Farther than what?
It went 180.
Oh, I thought you said
it's supposed to go 240.
I misread. I misheard. Carter, kick us to Dunham's before we introduce our two special guests today.
Okay, here we go. This episode is proudly sponsored by Dunham Sports, your one-stop destination for all things sporting goods. Whether you're into hunting, fishing, or loving every day, Dunham's has everything you need to elevate your experience in the great outdoors. Get ready to step up your game with Dunham's exclusive offer. Use code KICKSTART25 for an amazing 25% off on all golf gear and accessories. Exclusions may apply. Watch out for that weekly flyer, too. Doesn't get a lot of love in the chat, but I know one day someone's going to get a deal.
Gotta hope somebody uses it at some point. Two unbelievably special guests. I'm gonna read off two descriptions here, as I usually do to start the program. You guys, as listeners sitting in your car, potentially with your wives, fiancés, girlfriends, dogs, whatever, figure out who is who when I make these descriptions here. One of these lovely guests is a Lapeer West graduate, famous for his cooler selection in the Kickstart of 23. It's been compared of the likes of Logic, Max Crosby, and Chet Holmgren. The Urban Atlantic Scout said, quote, "He's got it in him." The other person here joining us, the last time we had him on, his third child was on the way. He now has 3 children. Former captain of the Net Eagles, best known for his defense on the trip with endless amounts of birdie juice, and still has the dirtiest stash of all the land. Warm welcome. Very good friends and partners here in the Kickstart Invitational, Austin Esser and Preston Beard.
Glad to be here.
What an introduction there. Yeah. Thanks, buddy.
I don't know who's going to get those two confused, but
the one unbelievably common similarity between the you two is the interest in wagers, gambling. We're doing the betting pod today.
We sure are.
But before we get there, first question we ask all of our guests, we'll start with you, Esther. What does the Kickstart mean to you?
It is the premier event of the year. It is something we look forward to all year. We're 7 days away, 8 days away. It's coming. Like, it's something I've been looking forward for probably the last 6 months every day, talking about it to everyone. So it's the event. I'm looking forward to it.
Preston, same question. What does the Kickstart mean to you?
You know, it's one of those things where if the day it's over, I wake up and I think about the next year. It's always on my mind. You know, I used to think it was more get away, hang out with the boys. But now I really just fucking want to win and drink out of that cup, to be completely honest.
I'm not sure I would suggest drinking out of that particular cup. We could figure something out for that, but I don't know if any beers have been actually drank from that yet.
I'll be the first, I can tell you that.
The whole like tarnish, wrong type of polish for the wrong material situation, I think is because I mean, without tootling my own train whistle, I've had the cup in my possession for quite some time. I'm afraid to do anything involving the metal on top, like in trying to clean it more or putting any foreign substances in it. I'm just leave it as it is, and then I can't get in trouble with the board of directors.
I think I'll take the other side of that and say that probably drinking a little bit of a beer out of there is probably fine. Like, you're gonna be fine. It's not that bad.
Yeah, just like put some Dawn dish soap in it and some water. It'll be fine.
It's been sitting in
It'll
my
be good.
office all week because I'm getting engraved from last year's winners, and I've gotten so many comments from people walking by my office.
You wearing
Good
gloves
seg-
when you handle that thing, Kyle?
Mhm.
You wearing little white gloves when you handle that thing, or no?
Double protection, actually. Yeah.
That's usually best.
Speaking of the trophy, though, Preston, you're third all time in Kickstart history points with 7, only behind Cullen and Justin. What's got to change this year for you to hoist this trophy? Is it a skill issue? Is it a luck issue? Where are we sitting here?
That's a good question. I just got to be better. I mean, if I win one more match, 2 of the years, I hoist. But just didn't work out. I don't know. It's all going to come down to drafting whose team I'm drafted to. And then we'll figure out a game plan from there. But it's hard to get into specifics when I got nothing to go off of.
Is there a team or program you'd like to get drafted to?
The winning one? Duh.
Yeah. It's a
It's
smart
shocking.
answer.
Shocking how many of our guests don't take that layup.
Yeah. They have not caught on to that.
I think we got
That
too many
FDR
guys
train.
that actually listen to the pod.
Our bits might be running old here. We too many of our
They got the
Kickstart
pre-scout on
Invitational.
us.
Yeah. We'll shake it up on them.
We will. Esser, I mean, notable accolade for you winning the Labatt Blue Rookie of the Year in 2023 for your first season. Came out of the gates fucking hot. I don't think that's a secret at all. Last year wasn't your year. I remember seeing you in Indianapolis. You were still chatting about how shit the year was. What happened last year? What are we changing this year? How are we getting back to our roots a little bit?
I was going through a little swing problem in my head that week. I remember grabbing Carter after the first round of Diamond Springs. I'm like, I need to borrow something like a swing stick or something to get me back into this, because that first 18 with you, Kyle, at Diamond was tough. Had a decent day at Pilgrims, but Mac on the back 9 played some of the most unbelievable golf I've ever seen. One of the biggest comebacks I think I've seen. I had him on the front 9, and then the back he just took over. Like, unbelievable golf watching him do it. But no, I had a tough round. I mean, hopefully I don't have to play Justin this year. I think I've played him 3 times, and he's gotten me all 3 times. So that's another tough opponent I've had to face a couple of times. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm ready for this year. Coming with a different perspective, and I'm ready to start winning. I'm sick of losing. So
You did say you got hot last summer after the Kickstart, of course, but
July I had a month. I had a month where I was playing some golf.
Made a hole in one.
I had that prior to the Kickstart.
Before the Kickstart?
Before the Kickstart last year. That was May of last year. I had that one. But we'll see. I haven't played as much this year. I'm on vacation coming up here after tomorrow, so I'm gonna get some rounds in before I take off Wednesday down to Grand Rapids. So we're gonna see. Yeah.
I'd love to play as your partner instead of playing against you, especially at the mines. I think I was in the group when Kyle's talking about you came out of the gates hot. One of the statistics I think that we were looking at earlier is that your best round ever at the Kickstart was your first round, a net 71 at the mines, which was good for low round of the day, and really just set the whole team up for for a great week. Yeah, I'd love to be your partner instead of playing against you all the time for sure.
It's a fight, but yeah, no, that would be nice. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
I love
See
the
what
mines,
happens.
man. I just happen to be playing better at the mines than the other ones, but
Yeah.
it's a good course, man. I enjoy it.
Mac and I were talking mines today. It's like it doesn't have the same like sexy feel as Diamond Springs and Pilgrim's Run, but some of the holes are just so fun. Just
Very
fun
much.
holes.
And there's nothing like that first tee on one to kick it off. Like I don't think there's three things much better in this world than that. Like that'll get the juices flowing. Standing on there as the first group.
Knees buckled, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Jay, run us through some quick stats, quick oversight of these two.
Talk about these guys, kind of their records and some of what they shoot here. Esser's 1-4-1 in team matches, 0-1-1 in singles matches. Last year had a tough year. His stroke average took a hit. He's up to 80.13, losing 2.3 strokes to the field per round. Like I said earlier, his best ever round was his first one at the Mines, and he plays the Mines the best. Career average of 74.25 at the Mines, so we're pulling for him to keep improving on that. And I think when we get into the betting, you'll see some lines that kind of reflect a potential bounce back year for that. For Preston, we already talked about it, the third most points in Kickstart history. He's 4-2-3 all time in team matches, an absolute elite partner to have for anybody that he's been paired up with, and holding his own in singles as well. 1-1-1 all time in the singles. 77.0 stroke average, and right around even on strokes gained, just losing 1/3 of a stroke to the field each round. His best round ever was a 70 in the singles. The first year of the Kickstart, just took Mac to the woodshed out there that first year and just absolutely buried him. It ended up being a little mini runaway for the conductors in that first year, but Preston definitely got his before he got.
Had my guy.
Yeah, he had his guy for sure.
Carter, I know you don't want to go too much into detail, especially, a week from now. I think we'll either be in the draft room or have our teams already drafted a week from right now, actually. What does the draft look like, these two? How are you viewing them going into this year? Esser coming off the tougher year, but before that, winning Rookie of the Year, and then Preston obviously shocking the world after somehow falling to the last round. What's your viewpoint on these two?
Yeah, so I'm wanted to make sure I was covering my tracks here and didn't contradict myself with the list I had you send me. Neither of them are on the not draft list. So there's definitely a possibility that they're on my team. I'd call it probably about 50-50. Preston in the 6th or 7th is what I had said before. I like him down there.
You did guarantee it. That is true.
If he's there in 6 or 7, I'm taking him. There's just no way around it. The value's too good down there. The problem I'm going to run into is if Preston's there in the 6th and I don't take him, and then he's there in the 7th and it's him and Liam, I have it listed that I'm going to take both of them in the 7th, so I might have to make a trade to keep my word. And then for Esser, I have no clue. I mean, the first I tried to trade damn near the whole team for him last year after Chase offered me the whole team first. And then Chase said that he was disrespected by my offer. I had offered him the thing that he had just offered me, and he declined. And then, as we all know, I kind of dodged a bullet there. I was going for Esser in the fourth, and we didn't get him. And then, he ended up having a down year, and now going into year 4, Esser's third season. I have no idea what we're going to get. The poor guy, was the first year the fluke or was last year the fluke? I have no clue. I've been watching 18 birdies every night before I go to bed, perusing the scores and where he's at. The handicap dropping is a good sign. It means he's playing some good golf. But then there's less dots out there. So it's just hard to put your finger on, where these guys are going to go. In having discussions with the other captain, we could see some potential fireworks on draft night. I think going back and forth with Trick, we have a pretty good idea of what the first 4 rounds look like. And then from there, it just turns into an absolute coin flip for everybody.
Wow. Interesting.
Kyle, if I can pose you a question, I think we've talked about this a little bit offline. Does the consensus among the scouts and the media members here, does it allude to maybe Esser and Cody falling down these draft boards, like the captains are gonna, wait around and hope to be 1 year late on these guys instead of 1 year early on the comebacks? Have you heard anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's the thing that I've heard, the sentiment that I get the most is whoever is correct on Cody and Esser will likely win it. Whether that be a fade or picking them, who's to say? But I mean, if we're talking swing players, I mean, we know pretty much what we're getting out of you. We know what we're getting out of Tricky and Cullen. It's the guys like Esser, Cody, and honestly even Preston to an extent. I think Preston kind of kept us in the match game, whatever. I mean, last year. I mean, we're talking 3 huge swing guys, really.
I think you can throw yourself and Dan into that bucket as well,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
if you hit a home run on a pick like that, it can be game changing for sure.
Yeah, I mean, similar to how Tricky was, Preston's year. I don't remember what round Preston officially took him in after the slew of picks in a row. I think I remember it being 3rd or 4th, and Tricky will never probably get picked that low again. So it's just like who wins the mid rounds. We know the top rounds are gonna probably play good. The bottom rounds are probably gonna be volatile. Who wins the mid rounds is the big piece.
Yeah, that's my initial question. The source on that, I think, was like well, just trust me, bro, type of source. But I figured I would bring that up and pose that to a fellow media member like yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I'm plugged in. I talk to some of the guys pretty regularly, so I'm not talking out of my ass here.
For sure.
By any means. Let's get to the reason why we brought these 2 on. Let's get to the gambling segment. But before we do that, Justin, a little word from our honestly probably our favorite sponsor. Alliance.
There's our Grange cameo. You can check that off the bingo card.
Yet again, this episode of the Kickstart Invitational podcast is sponsored by Alliance Beverage. We're pretty sure they know that they're doing this now. Maybe they don't still, but I don't ask questions. Dan shows up with boxes. The truck's packed. Dan shows up with boxes. It's all good to go. Alliance Beverage, they're our local beer distributor here in Traverse City. They exist to help fulfill and enhance the quality of lives of their associates, customers, suppliers, and community. Alliance is here to support the Kickstart Invitational Draft, the event, and the pursuit of great golf and great friends.
Justin's doing his best Dennis Rodman impression, boxing out Grangey for the ad read.
I can't see the screen. That's You know, I don't care if she's up here. I got to do my job, you know?
Yeah, we got to pay the bills. So shout out Alliance Beverage. I did meet Dan's boss. Wonderful guy. Nice guy.
Yeah, Dan's direct superior. Phenomenal guy. One of the best guys.
His boss's boss, though, I don't know. I don't know about that guy. Fuck that guy. So gambling podcast. Reason we brought you two on. Two of our most notable gamblers in the group. Sounds like Nate might end up joining this little crew next year. But running back the gambling pod, it's going to be a similar format. Vegas came in with some odds, but we're also going to be running back the Google sheet or the Google form for some money. So we're going to come up at the end of this with some actual lines that you guys, as Kickstart Invitational attendees, can bet on. Most points, or whoever gets the most right, will win the pot. It's going to be a $10 buy-in per person, as it was last year. Absolutely no pressure to do it. It's just kind of a fun thing that we're doing, kind of like how Cullen brought up the piggy bank from last night. But just a fun thing. It'll be similar to last year. I think I'm going to try and make the questions a little easier to track so that I can update the fellas in real time. Thought it was fun, so we're going to run it back. This segment is for entertainment purposes only. Some of these bets will be in the sheet, some of them won't. We're just going to shoot the shit, talk them out, and see what's good value here. So, first and foremost, and we can kind of go circle style if you guys want to do a set order. I don't care how we do it. But we got the low net award. There's been discussions about cutting out the actual prize for this award, but the award's going to stick around because it's kind of fun to track. Justin's sitting at the favorite right now is minus 150. He was minus 400 last year to win it. Minus 150 this year. Tricky's minus 100. Carter is plus 120. Parker Mitchell plus 450, jumping in the list this year. The field is plus 900. Any good value here? What do you guys like?
I mean, taking Justin at 150 seems awfully free, but I do a little Parker Mitchell at plus 450 is intriguing. That is intriguing.
I think you take the field.
I was going to say, I like the field at plus 900.
The value might be with Parker. I haven't looked at what kind of scores he's putting up. So I sort of like that at plus 450, but I mean the field for plus 900, you got to sprinkle that, even if you think it's a guarantee that Tricky or I pull that out, the odds are too good.
Yeah, you could hedge a little bit, put a little bit on Trick because the odds are a little bit better. No offense, Jay. Mm-hmm. But then sprinkle in the field. I don't know.
I mean, Carter at plus 120 feels like really good value.
Yeah, you never know if he's telling the truth when he gets in the chat and tells you how he's playing either. So it's maybe the scouts know something we don't. That's why
I've just received a text from my Ypsilanti scout. Parker Mitchell has carded a net 71, 74, 79, 73, 74 in his last few rounds coming in. So plus 450, there's value there.
I'm just saying, it did intrigue me a little bit hearing that.
It catches your eye, for sure.
It does.
Preston, do you believe that Carter's hitting his 4-wood 180? Or do you think it's a smokescreen? Try and boost those odds a little bit.
I absolutely think he's shanking them.
Whoa. It wasn't a shank. It just, for some reason, didn't fly very far.
You said it went 180 to the left or the right.
No, it only went 180, but it went straight.
Into the shrubs?
You did say shrubs.
Roll back the tape?
You did say shrubbery.
It went into the shrubbery. It was the 10th hole.
You were aiming for it?
I believe he was intending to hit it over some shrubbery.
There is a forced carry. And the flag stick was 250. I
think
was
he's
hitting
bullshitting that guy.
the 4-wood downwind. And yes, it for some reason only flew about 180 and went into the shrubbery.
You should check for cracks. What's the next bet, Kyle?
We got most improved. This one's a fun one. Talking about the successes of guys that maybe didn't have a great year last year. Esser and Cody both sitting top of the leaderboard at minus 110 for both of them. Esser was plus 42 last year as his net. Cody was plus 34. A little bit of a drop off here. Max at plus 300, our last year winner. Vegas thinks he's got another tick in him, which would be nuts. He was plus 29 last year. Dan's plus 500 at plus 28. And Sneaky Tricky plus 500. He was plus 19 last year. What do you guys like? What don't you like?
I mean,
Are we
Esser
going
might not
strictly-
shoot 42 over gross.
Is this strictly based off of strokes gained, or are we factoring in like wins and losses for their team?
This is purely
strictly
based off
net.
of their low net score from the year before.
Oh, well,
I think Austin is stealing money.
yeah. If I had 42, 42 that's just embarrassing to even say, but that's.
Well,
I
Carter,
mean, he could shoot plus 20 and be up 20 strokes. Mac would have to shoot plus 7.
Yeah.
well,
Trick would have to
Carter
shoot
did just
under
say
par.
he could shoot better than plus 42 gross, which wouldn't be the biggest surprise of all time. But I think there's still value in Cody. He's not that far away.
He's been logging some rounds prior to this. I've been watching him too. So I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
He plays.
I got one for later on. I'll just say it right now. I have a grouping bet that has Esser or Cody to win most improved bundled together at minus 220 and the field at plus 100.
Wow.
So if you believe, if you want to bundle those two guys together, that sort of bet's out there. You got to switch over probably from FanDuel to DraftKings to get one of those special groupings. But yeah,
I didn't see it on the Bussin' with the Boys on FanDuel, so it probably is on.
Yeah,
on
it's over
Can I-
on DraftKings.
Probably got to log into my Bovada account to get that line.
I was gonna
Oh,
say
yeah, I
it's
was
on
gonna say
MGM.
Bovada,
Oh, that's
yeah.
awesome.
I mean, listen, Cody, if you're listening, with no pressure, man. Me and you are on the spotlight this year. We got a lot to prove. Well, we'll see.
That duo though was so fun when you guys were rolling.
It was
not fun.
It was fun. It was very fun.
There was electricity coming out of that grouping. Little bit of a pivot here. We got most beers consumed. Last year, Preston was the biggest favorite going into the season.
Heavy favorite.
He was the heavy favorite last year. I don't have the numbers in front of me. I should probably pull them up. But heavy favorite this year, Liam, minus 200 most beers consumed. Preston sitting runner up there at plus 150. Myself at plus 200. Parker at plus 400. And the field is plus 350.
Just to clarify, that's any other guy by himself drinks the most beers, not the remaining guys combined.
Yes,
Yeah.
precisely.
Who won it last year?
We know Preston was the early favorite.
Pretty hard to judge.
That's tough to quantify unless we start keeping our tabs in our pockets.
It won't be going on the betting sheet. I'll spill a pick now.
We have four new guys this year.
Yeah,
I think there's a lot of value in the field just because it does contain the next two guys that I would look for lines for, which would be
Cullen.
which is going to be Cullen and Branch. I don't know if Branch is a drinks liquor instead of beer. If that's the side that Vegas is on, but I would be going the field here, just betting on Cullen or Branch to maybe pull one out.
I think Dan could make a run too, depending on the pizza intake.
Agreed.
Yeah. Not
We'll
gonna
get
lie.
there.
Like myself, kind of. I mean, I'm slowing down a little bit in my age. But if we're talking strictly beer, if I can stay away from the liquor and I think just strictly beer, I like my odds. I like my odds plus money. I don't know. Is Liam just a tank though?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. I don't know enough about Liam to.
The pre-scout on Liam is first of all, he's 8'11" and can absolutely hammer him like a fish. The poor guy. Spent a couple 4th of Julys with him, and it's like every time you turn around, it's like Jesus Christ. My hesitation with him, especially at -200, is, I mean, he's going to be there essentially with 12 guys that he's never met. He's the highest handicapper. It might be a little squeezed off of going too deep at night with the beers, knowing he's trying to represent himself well on the course.
I mean,
That's my question, right? It's like, does he have the stamina to keep chugging beers for 4 days straight?
That's a really good question, especially coming off a bachelor party trip with him about a month ago. It is a question. I do think that he and Dan could get interesting with the during the day beers, the golf beers. I mean, the Kickstart has historically not had a ton of course drinking. There's rumors coming out of the Henderson camp that Dan could be here to switch it up a little bit. And as a plus 21 or 22, I think the reports came out as today for Liam, he might need a little swing juice. So,
well, and I think if those two guys end up in the same group, that's going to be easy. There's not going to be a lot of guys being like, whoa. They're already going to have them 2v2. They might run in isolation.
That was the point that made me kind of peek over at the Kyle plus 200. Because Kyle's been, as much as he says it's Dan, Kyle's been the one that's been pushing the let's drink more beers on the course.
oh, no, I won't drink on the course.
Interesting.
That's confirmed right now.
Interesting.
I don't know.
This is an odd development.
Unless I'm with Preston and there's birdie juice involved, then I'll.
A little birdie juice never hurt no one.
Well, birdie juice is good.
I'm fading that Kyle plus 200. I'm fading Kyle at plus 200 on that one. That's my official statement.
It would be a shame though if there's an old Smoky that's in my bag. I don't know. We'll see.
That ain't a beer.
Oh, what?
That ain't a beer.
It ain't a beer. This is a new one. This one isn't going to be, I don't think, a recurring bet year to year. But due to the circumstances, over under beers / drinks consumed from Justin McPhail for the whole trip. Vegas has the line set at 5.5.
Over.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah,
what's the bog rattling? What's the bog rattle line at?
I'm very curious about that.
That's got to be at least the line.
We'll get there.
We need to clarify rules on that too.
What you guys are forgetting is
yes,
that
we do, because we got in a long discussion about that last year.
What you guys are forgetting is that if I don't make it on the trip, the total is going to be 0.
Or if Justin has to leave early in the middle of the trip,
that's going to halt my count. Yeah.
He's going to have 5 on draft night.
Yeah. I hope draft night covers it.
Maybe.
We'll
Probably
see.
even.
You guys got
the overbettors are hoping for it.
I'm working that night. You guys got to remember that.
Hold on. Look at the fine print. It doesn't say on trip.
Yeah.
It says whole trip. You think
Yeah.
if that baby comes, J-Mac isn't going to be Just having a little celebratory one.
I went to the bar after my third.
I thought you were suggesting he'd come back.
That would be something. That would be.
It's unforeseen.
There's not much you can do during the first couple days anyways, Jay. You'll be fine.
Get him in now. So you guys all hammered the over? Sounds
Yeah.
like?
Yeah,
It's plus money. You have.
I'll
to.
take the under.
and
I'll
it's
take
plus
the under.
money.
It's plus 100. Under is minus
Wow.
100.
I'll take the under.
Okay.
I don't like
Okay.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
Insider trading.
The champions, winners. Who's hoisting the trophy at the end of the trip here? Conductors minus 150, Tornadoes plus 150. Any leans?
I'm taking NATO's plus money.
I'm taking NATO's plus money.
I think it's time we see a new champion. NATO's plus money.
Justin?
Conductors. I think conductors.
I learned Tom Brady taught me a valuable lesson. Don't bet against Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Conductors have won 3 in a row. I'm going to be a year. I'd rather be a year too late than a year too early. I'm going Conductors as well.
Who's Tom Brady and who's Bill Belichick, I wonder.
That could be a whole fucking podcast. That could be a whole
Come on.
What's the next bet?
Mr. Irrelevant. Last pick in the draft. I was once Mr. Irrelevant myself, so I feel comfortable putting this out there. We got Liam at minus 300 for Liam. Dan's plus 150. Joey is plus 300. That's all Vegas was giving us. They're only giving you 3.
They're smart.
Any picks here?
Yeah, it's tough without knowing any of them. It's just going off of.
Have you watched the pods?
I've watched every pod.
I know
Maybe
Esser
the
has.
most dedicated listener.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm on it as soon as he posted, but I'm gonna go with Joey, Mr. Relevant.
Ooh, plus 300.
There's good value there. He's not on the no pick list from the conductors though, is he?
Let me confirm. No,
Yeah,
he's not on the no pick list.
That's why he's plus money. I mean, I'm a responsible gambler, so I probably wouldn't bet this one, but if I was, I would still go Liam here.
Yeah, I'd go Liam.
I mean, Liam last pick is a terrible pick because it's on record that if he's there in the 7th, I'm taking him.
That's true. On paper.
What if we're both there in the 7th?
Yeah.
Well, if you're there, I think if you're there in the 6th, I'm taking you in the 6th.
You have Preston in the 6th or 7th round. You have Liam in the 7th round.
Well, yeah. So Preston is there in the 6th. I pick Preston, and then I get Liam in the 7th.
So it wouldn't be the last pick unless a trade happened.
Right.
Interesting. Interesting.
In that case, Joey.
Carter also has Justin on his not drafting list. So
Come on.
his word could go out the window so quickly.
Very quickly.
Problem is I said I wasn't picking Justin or Cullen.
You did. Yeah.
That's tough. I don't think you can pick Trick.
He also has Tricky and himself on the list of guys he's not drafting.
Smart.
And Liam rounds 1 through 6.
Yeah, so my pick for Joey's not sounding too bad.
No, sounds good.
Based on what's on paper.
We have first Chundy. Dan was the heavy favorite last year. Turns out no one chundied. No one is leading the pack here at minus 200. Dan is the next up here. You are getting them at plus money, plus 100. Cullen at plus 225. Parker Mitchell coming in at plus 400. The field is plus 300.
I'm gonna go Parker. I like those odds there, plus 400. I feel like he might get a little if the bog rattling's a little bit heavy this time around, we could see a few more guys not have the stomach for it.
For
Especially
sure.
if Dan's eating that Chipotle sauce and shit,
In some closed
Sneak
And
a little
now
of that on
opened-
someone's tacos.
store meetings, there's only 13 or 14 turns in the Rattling Bog. So there's been discussions of partnership,
Which is a 4th of July tradition.
which
Or-
essentially doubles up. There could potentially be 3 turns for a team. Obviously,
Or,
you guys
hear
don't
me
know.
out.
I'll offer this information. Jason Branchow is one of the most willing to just push it way too far in Chundy.
So
We're
he's saying that the field has value.
The field has extreme value. Jason Branchow will just drink it until he throws up and then open another beer.
Respect it. Respect
I
it.
like that.
I think the only one I'm steering away from is Cullen. I don't know where he puts it, but he won't Chundy. I saw him chug half a fifth of whiskey at Bomarito's bachelor party and then just pass out on the party bus on the way to the casino. But he did not Chundy. He absolutely refused.
Yeah, I don't know if he's got it in him to do that.
It's funny because I actually asked Vegas about this one specifically. They're kind of hoping for age to catch up with him a little bit.
Maybe.
I mean, we even saw the night one performance out of last year, and that was impressive. Vegas is kind of just going to keep doubling down until they're either right or they're always going to be wrong, I think is their camp on that one.
Yeah, they'll just keep taking the bets.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with no one. I'm gonna go with the minus 220, no one. That's
I like it.
I think we'll have I'm curious. I'm still curious about the bog line, but I know we're gonna get there.
We'll get there. We'll get there. Part 2 to the Chundy bet. One of my favorites this year. The second person to Chundy, if somebody does Chundy. Carter's minus 1,000. The field is plus 750.
Based off past performances, I'm taking the field.
Really?
Carter's gonna get it done when it mattered most.
Plus money. He's 0-1 on attempts in the last 3 years. So at the Kickstart anyway.
Esther, you don't think he's due? You don't think that performance has haunted him for the last 2 years now?
No, I'm taking the field too.
You hear that, Carter?
I'll be taking the field.
I mean, it's good money. Minus
Chundy.
1,000 is you're not touching that even if you think it's true. It's almost not even worth betting.
I might Chundy off the back porch. Just to force your hand here.
I mean, I'll be stick and step.
I mean, I think if they're too close to Kyle, he won't. If they're too close to Kyle on the first Chundy, I don't think you're going to have time to force it, Cart. I think it may just come out. That
Of
gives the
someone
field
else?
value. Of Kyle.
Like if Kyle Chundies, you think someone else will beat me to it?
No. I think if somebody else Chundies and they're real close to Kyle, he
will
may, sympathetically Chundy without having to force it.
If I get a whiff of it, I'm for sure Chundying. I know that. I am not
That's
a
what I'm
smells
saying.
guy. Not a smells guy.
We need that Ring doorbell footage.
Getting back to golf a little bit. The field average scoring. The line is set at 77.5. And just to give you guys a little context, the first year was 74.72. Year 2 was 78.11. Last year was 77 flat. This year we have 77.5. What do you guys think?
If I recall, I think I took the under last year on that. I think it's gonna be under 77.5 again. I really do. I think that we're getting better every year. We're gonna start seeing some better scores.
I agree. Even though the dots are falling out of the trip rapidly.
They're falling out of the trip, but what's the par of Stoughton Bray?
72, I think.
Because if it was less, if Stoughton Bray's only a par 71. So that's already one stroke back against par versus Diamond Springs playing it a second time.
But we do have 4 more golfers.
Yeah, we do have 4 more golfers.
And one of them's Liam.
They do tend to skew upward. I would be going under here. We're losing dots, but I think it's because guys are legitimately playing better. I think they'll be shooting closer to their handicap. We'll be having fewer blow-up rounds. That year 2, I think, is an outlier. I think being over 78 I think that's pretty high.
Yeah, I would agree with under. I think just people playing the courses more, that helps too. I know we have a new course, but we've seen 3 of these courses. This will be the 3rd, 4th time for most people. People are playing better. Our handicaps reflect that. We are getting a stroke to par. I don't know about the new guys, but if they're getting as many dots as we think they are, they should be pretty close to around that average. So yeah, I would say under for sure.
And it's just more fun to root for good golf, I think.
Yeah, it's like calling for an over, really. In an NBA game or something. Yeah. Carter and Justin, I'm going to exclude your guys' opinions and picks here. MVP, because there's some self-votage discussion that needs to be had. Carter is minus 200. Justin is minus 150. Justin was a pretty heavy favorite last year, people forget. Tricky, plus 120. Cullen, plus 200. People forget he was last year's MVP. And then Sneaky Chase coming in at plus 400. And then we got the field also at plus 400. What do you guys think, Esther and Preston?
Taking the field because I'm not going against myself. Simple.
I love it.
I like the field too. I think someone might surprise us this year. I think we're going to see a different name than those first 4 listed. So I'm going with the field as well.
I know we were in discussion previous to pressing record. I believe, and Justin said there might be one other name, but I believe those 5 names are the only people to have received votes for MVP, at least since I've been at the Kickstart.
I received
Justin,
1.
Was that year 1? Year 1?
I think Carter voted for me, actually.
No.
I did.
Oh.
I did.
I voted for Justin, I voted for Chase, and I voted for Cullen.
I think that there's still value in the field. Parker and Preston are in there. No offense, S.
I'm taking.
We're waiting on the bounce back, but
I'm taking. I got something to prove.
Preston gets a lot of points for somebody that hasn't won the cup yet.
3rd most all time, even.
So there's value in the field, but I get all those lines make sense for sure.
Carter, do you have a pick here for 1, and for 2? What are your thoughts on self-votage for MVP?
I mean, going forward, if I think that I should be the MVP, I'm going to vote for myself. That being said, I'm not sure that there's been a year where I've felt like I'm going to vote for myself. I should win it. I could see it being Trick going 4-0 and not winning the cup. Have little back alley win the MVP. Chase, I'd like to see Chase win it. I thought he should have won it when he went 3-0-1.
Was 4-0 and 1 low net, dude. Come on.
Yeah, but it was the bounce back year.
Yeah, it was. It was. That's respect. We didn't have a most improved yet, but
I mean, I didn't vote for him that year, but or maybe I did. I don't remember.
you didn't. It
You
was
didn't. It
almost
was-
unanimous, and
It
I
was
voted for
unanimous
Chase.
minus, it was minus Justin's vote. A man of honor, if you will, not voting for himself on a unanimous vote. But
If I thought I was gonna lose, I would have voted for myself. Just saying.
Are
What's
we
the
going to have
next
a
bet?
decision on that?
Hmm?
Are we going to have a decision on that about voting for?
I mean, I'm like heavily in favor of not voting for yourself. I think it's lame.
Maybe we'll talk about it at the players' meeting on draft night.
Otherwise, everyone just vote for yourselves. We'll spin a wheel. That sounds fun.
If Trick goes 4-0 and loses, do you think he'll accept the award?
Yeah.
Ooh, a Conn Smythe
It's like a
situation. Doesn't go to
McDavid?
accept it.
McDavid not going out to accept it. I think he would.
Man, would he
Like,
be
you
hurt,
might
though.
see him just get in his car and drive away.
No, he's an honorable guy. He'll do the whole handshake line. He'll watch the trophy ceremony.
I think losing the Stanley Cup final is more hurtful emotionally than the Kickstart.
I would beg to differ, but
I was going to say, who's to
Not
say?
that I've done either of those two things.
yeah.
Really going out on a limb on that one, though. By the way,
This is a new fun one. As you guys might remember, we did boyfriends, fiancés, husbands, bachelors last year. I think the odds are pretty set on those. Vegas isn't winning any money there, so they had to flip it.
yeah, we're not. We are not going to root for anything to change there.
That was a little bit of a fun realization in last year's gambling pod with Esser. I started reading them off. I was like, ooh, voting on single here would be not good for somebody.
Yeah.
It's too soon.
So we have pivoted to something slightly better, a lot better. Over under kids of members on draft night. So we look at the entirety of the Kickstart Invitational. Currently, there are 5 children. Vegas has the line set at 5.5, and it's minus 110 on both sides.
Baby being born by draft night?
Under.
A child being born by draft night.
I'm going to say the over.
Over 5.5 kids.
I'm gonna say under. I think there's only 2 people that have kids in the group, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Colin and Preston. Yeah, I'm gonna say under.
Yeah, we need. If
I'm
that hits,
really
it needs to
rooting for
hit
the
at
under.
like noon
I'm really
on
rooting
Wednesday.
for the under.
Yeah. Come on, Jay. We need the under bad.
For those who've been living under a rock, or if you're Branch, to be fair to Branch, he doesn't know. Justin's wife is due any day now. So
Untrue.
May 26th. May
Any
26th
day.
is the due date.
Oh, May 26th is the due date?
Yeah.
I thought it was May 14th. I'm going to say under for sure then.
Oh, fucking
Thought
right.
it was
Let's
May
go.
14th.
I thought it was I thought the due date was legit like May 14th.
On draft night.
Yeah, like on the actual draft night day.
That would be crazy.
that would be insane.
That would make the line interesting. That would make the line interesting.
One has to venture to say the beers consumed over should be parlayed with the under.
You would have to.
Yeah.
It'd be easy money, I feel. The one we've all been waiting for. The total number of bog rattles. Last year, the line sat at 5.5. Did we end with 3? 2?
I think so.
Did we force a
3.
third like the last night?
We did a back-to-back
We did
on
do
the
it back
last
to back.
night. And we definitely did at least one on draft night.
I think we had one unofficial one that we weren't sure to count or not because not everyone was participating.
Yeah.
So the line last year is 5.5. I know the under hit for sure. Vegas has it at 4.5. The over is plus 100. The under is minus 105.
Hammering over.
Over.
What are we talking about
Hammering.
rules here?
That's a
Like-
good question.
10 people participate, we counting it?
12. 75%.
75%. Yeah, over.
Yeah,
Over.
over.
We could scrounge up 12 plus.
Yeah,
to-
I think
to
the
do
line
it.
just actually moved. Like now the over is minus 150 because how much money I
They-
just put on.
They have to be on. They have to be participating in the trip, though. You can't be grabbing people off the street. That does not count.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Let's pivot. Hold on now.
Whoa.
Let's talk about that. Could we see a brewery night full bar rattling?
Whoa.
If that happens, I think it's like an auto win. That's like when your team goes up by like 21 points in football and they pay you out.
They pay you out.
automatically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like that. The
It's
whole
like-
bar.
Let's put a pin in that and talk about that.
Yeah, I don't know.
We got an
I think-
extra
I
day.
think
We
it's
have
like
4 more people. I really think the over is.
Jason Branshaw will be spearheading the bog rattle.
I think
Liam
if the whole
King
bar
sounds
does
like
it, that's
you-
like hitting a jackpot on
The whole
slots.
bar
I
does
think
that
so,
would be
too.
Insane.
I think it could get
Yeah.
traction.
Yeah, I love the over. Is everyone on over? I'm assuming.
I'm on over.
Do we
I
have
was
anyone
on the
that's going to
under
say
last
under?
year. I was on the under last year. I will take the over this year. My fear is sitting in the camp of Justin McPhail and Chase Bierbauer, as they both had sat out last year, and I am fearful of that this year. But it feels like the guys are going to be itching for it this year.
Also,
It's
got to
harder
remember.
to say no to 14 guys than it is to 12.
Got to remember too that we don't have 36 holes on one day.
Yep.
We do.
That's really like getting
Mhm.
2 more bog rattle days.
That's what I mean.
We're
Like,
there one more day, and we're not playing 36 holes on another.
I might alt the line up to 7.5.
A little ladder.
I might alt the line up to 7.5.
Send me that ticket. I want in on that.
You know what I mean? Like there might be some value in alting that up.
That's an
little bit.
underground Swedish book.
That's
Yeah,
what,
there's
$2,
alt
that's
lines.
$2 a night. That's very doable.
Bat Sverge.
I know Parker will be laddering it up with you as well.
Good. Yeah, I might alt it up. So I love the over, but I might even go higher than that.
There's also, not to give too much away, at least one pretty unbelievable spot to do a bog rattlage at the Airbnb, but I'm not going to further on that. Rookie of the year. Got 4 of them this year. Parker won last year in a pretty tight race. Obviously Esser and Trick, co-rookie of the years the year prior. No rookie of the years before that. I guess whoever was the MVP, I guess that year maybe. Nate minus 150. Branch is sitting at plus 100, so those two are kind of neck and neck. Joey's sitting at plus 250, and Liam. Anybody want to guess Liam's line?
1,100.
1,000.
Plus
Pretty
800.
close.
Plus 800.
Pretty close.
I like Nate. I think Nate's he's gonna have a good. I think he might have a good chance at running for rookie of the year. I'm interested to see how he plays.
I agree. I think this is one of the ones that's not. It's also kind of not purely based on the golf. I feel like the vibes factor into it a little bit too. So, yeah, I think Nate at minus 150 still has some value, but Branch at plus 100 is pretty intriguing. You know, for the off course stuff, even more than the on course. Although he's allegedly a pretty good player.
I'm looking at this line really closely because if there's a hint at all that Nate or Branch takes a lead and Joey's line falls down just a titch, he's known to get hot. And I think he could be a fun value bet there.
Yeah, could be a good situation maybe to get Joey after night one.
Mm-hmm.
After the first round, if his odds sneak up a tiny bit. Keep your eye on that in the live markets for sure.
Mm-hmm. A fun bet that we're bringing back for sure for the gambling sheet this year. We got Ranger Rick's shirt color at Pilgrim's Run. Essentially every single color is minus 100. They did lay out red, blue, green, yellow, and other, but basically every color is minus 100. So any leans on Ranger Rick this year?
I'm gonna go orange.
Orange,
I have
it's
no
good.
idea why. It just feels right.
Yeah,
Mm,
brightly colored.
Yeah, like
He
a
was-
bright
Chad.
orange.
Was he blue last year?
Red.
It was red last year.
Yeah.
I was leaning red, Sunday red
Yeah.
for Ranger Rick, but
we
I
are
don't
getting them
know.
Sunday. Oh, fuck. Vegas just changed the line.
Oh,
No, I already put my ticket in.
Minus 150. That's good value then. Good
Yeah, I just
value.
got-
Minus
I just
150.
got-
Well done.
What makes me nervous is I don't know if Ranger Rick is a bigot.
Can you
fair enough.
He might be wearing the Phil Mickelson all black in protest.
whew.
I think he's gonna have a white. He's gonna be in white.
See, I was gonna say black until
I was
Carter
I was
brought that
hoping
up,
for
but-
a plaid or some type of
Mm.
print.
Ooh, doubtful.
I'll have to look on that Swedish site.
Pink would be fun. I don't think he has it in the bag, but I think pink would be the biggest shock.
Pink's at like plus 900. It's got to be.
Gotta be. He doesn't strike me as a pink guy, but
No, not
maybe
at
his
all.
wife dressed him one day. I don't know. I mean,
It is Sunday. Going to church and you're pink after Easter.
yeah. It could be in the cards. We're closer to spring than summer than compared to last year.
Yep.
Who's to say? Carlisle Frazier, Unsung Hero Award. Vegas has Dan at minus 250. Liam at plus 110. Mac at plus 200. Preston coming in at plus 250. Vegas is looking for some voter fatigue on me. Plus 400 for me. And in the field, plus 350.
Kind of like max value there.
I like max value as well. It definitely feels like Dan's award to lose at this point. Like he's put in the time the last couple years for sure. He's active in the chat. You know, I would have a hard time betting against Dan, but I agree that there's value in Mac and in Preston at plus 250 just behind him.
I smell a little three-peat.
Oh fuck!
I smell a little three-peat.
He is not fatigued.
I'm gonna have to pull off a miracle, and I don't know what it is yet.
I think he's got it in him still for one more.
We already
I'm
saw
going with
one
my boy
last year, I
Kyle.
thought.
I feel like last year's singles might have hit my peak, but we'll see.
I think Liam could be there.
I think
He very well could be.
Like
We are spread
I
out.
mean, he's the guy that everyone expects to come and just make net double on every hole, the way that Parker portrayed him. Like if maybe he gets attached to somebody that's just playing hot, and then all of a sudden we're on Sunday and it's like, oh yeah, Liam won 2 4-ball matches and tied his singles match in his, Thursday match, like as the last overall pick. Like it would be hard to not go with him.
You're right. You're painting a pretty clear picture.
yeah, I don't hate that at all. I know last year I was pretty between Dan and Preston, so Preston getting plus 250 on that value is pretty damn good. I feel like he should even be higher, really, but this should be a fun race this year. I think it will be an interesting Carlisle Fraser Unsung Hero Award. And whoever
It's a
gets that
good
golden putter.
It's a good one.
I don't know if Preston is unsung enough.
He was last round last year.
That's what I mean. And now he's scored the third most points. Now whoever picks him is going to expect him to win.
It's like getting Zetterberg in the 6th round. Like the only reason he would be unsung is because he got drafted so late, but he's still so valuable.
Yeah.
Regardless,
And I hope he falls to that 6th spot. I want him in that 6th.
Interesting.
I'll say this pretty confidently. I've had a couple rounds with Preston, I think, and they're memorable. They're always fun. It's always a hoot.
I did have one with him too. Yeah, I had a good round with Preston one time as well. It was a good time with him.
You're not just hitting, chipping, putting, and moving on to the next hole minimum conversation. I know that for sure.
And he does bring out the best in his partners.
Absolutely.
What's the next prop you got, Kyle?
Yeah, this was maybe the biggest swing from last year to this year. Total net eagles from everyone on the trip. Last year we set the line, I believe, at 8.5, Justin.
Yeah.
Hammered the over at 13 net eagles. Shout out the Net Eagles organization. Vegas looked at the line of 13. They saw 4 more guys getting added, which in theory should help, but also one less round at Diamond Springs, which where a lot of guys did get net eagles at. They have the line set at 15.5. Over is plus 100. Under is minus 105.
I think under. I don't think there's enough dots to beat last year's by 2.
Well,
Yeah.
There's going to be just way less opportunities that birdies are going to be net eagles.
I don't know. Liam can make a par. If Liam gets paired up with me, he could make a par on any 6 holes.
Wow. Yeah,
That
that's
would be a
good point.
net eagle. Right? He's gonna get 2 dots on between 2 and 6 holes.
I'm going over. I think you add 4 more golfers, like Jay said, you're getting a lot of dots there, depending on pairings. But
Yeah, that's more opportunities. There's got to be more opportunities just based on more players being available,
yeah,
right?
Well,
I
the
think
net
math,
eagles are based on the low net score
Yeah.
too, right?
Yeah, but if everybody, like if everybody on the trip was getting one less dot, you're still adding 4 more guys that are getting more dots than are lost by guys playing better. In my opinion, that's with no data to back that up, but
plus that's like not saying like Jay could easily just go out there and get an eagle, you know, on a par 5 or par 4, I guess, if you drive the green and
yeah,
make
par
a lucky shot.
fives. Par fives for sure.
But how
Especially
many
Diamond
like
Springs, probably Stoughton Bray.
Mine's only has 2 par
yeah,
five.
how many
doesn't
guys
it?
like me I could go out there and get an eagle on a random par 5, you know?
Yeah,
Little
mine's
lucky.
only has 2 par fives, but
I think the under is a good call as well. I think it's a good line. I think it's set pretty fair. But I think it might be just under.
I'm going over, and if they'll allow me, I want to parlay it with the field average being under 77.5 because
That's a good bet.
I'm rooting for good golf still. And if that doesn't hit, then I'm already sad.
I would love to ride with that. I'm fearful a little bit of Stoughton Bray. I don't know what it has to offer. Uncertainty tells me under, but that's just what it is uncertain.
That's fair.
Last one, fun one. Oh, is a hole-in-one happening this year? Yes is plus 10,000. No is minus 5,000. It's not really a matter of if we're betting yes for everybody. I think it's more units and comfortability of if it actually happens. Any thoughts here?
I would hammer
I mean,
the over if I got those odds.
I'm a degenerate, so I'm going to bet yes, it's going to happen first.
I think
what a long shot.
it's either gonna happen this year or it's not gonna happen for like 10 years. Because it would be so on brand for our trip to be like, oh yeah, we're doing a hole-in-one piggy bank, and then at the mines someone makes an ace.
$5.
And they win like 100, they win like $160. And it's like, yeah, sweet.
Wasn't even
Or no
enough
one's
to pay
gonna
off
get
the
it, and
bar tab.
we're gonna get to 2038, and the text is gonna go out in the group like, hey, Kickstart's free this year because we obviously can't make a hole-in-one.
I think it's hard to bet on there being one made. Yeah, I'll root for it. That'd be pretty sick for sure.
Yeah, it turned
I mean,
out
what-
to
People
better.
have them.
If I bet $10 on plus 10,000, what's my payout?
$1,000.
Smash.
Yeah, it's worth the sprinkle for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
How many
It
people in this
probably
group
is.
have a hole in one?
that's a good question. I know that
Me,
I know
Esser,
that-
Nate's got one on a par 4.
Which
Preston
is
has one.
Preston
I
has
got
one.
Cody's got one.
Cody has one?
Yeah.
Yeah, last year you got one.
I don't think Trick does. Mac doesn't.
Dan has a half of one.
Dan has a
Dan got-
simulator one.
A sim
Dan
one?
got one on a simulator one. Chase and I both got one on a par 3 course. Those don't.
Same day?
No.
Oh,
Same course.
That'd have been sick.
No.
that counts if it was same day.
He flew it right into the hole at the Forest Dunes par 3 course. I mean, will they pay out if we play the pit?
I don't think so.
That's a lot
Ooh,
of chances at
I
one
have to
on the
talk to
pit.
I have to talk to the treasurer of the piggy bank.
I feel like if it counts as a hole in one when we have this discussion, then it should. If it doesn't count as a hole in one when we have this discussion, it does not.
It's fair.
But that's just my opinion. You can cancel me for that if you want.
I mean, I would say Justin's hole-in-one at the par 3 course would be a hole-in-one.
I'll. It's my
He-
hole-in-one, and I'll disagree, but
He would just asterisk it with, yeah, I made a hole-in-one at a par 3 course. I haven't made one on a real course.
yeah, I don't even. When people ask me, I don't even bring it up.
I've made one on a real course, and it's like, it's not that cool.
Yeah, it's once it's over with, it's just yeah.
You guys want
It's
to hear
almost-
some? You
I would
guys want
venture
hear
to say
some
it's
bets that I
worse.
have?
The
Yes,
Magic's
that does wrap up the gambling sheet, the gambling segment.
Hang on.
Thank you to Alliance Beverage for sponsoring this program. We do have just a couple extra bets that we might throw on the gambling sheet, but we're just going to kind of talk about here.
Go ahead, S. Were you gonna say something?
Yeah, I had two. I enjoyed this one last year that we left off. I want to know what the line is going to be for how many people are at the range at the Mines day one, because that was
that
was
shell
interesting.
shock.
That was interesting what we had it set at and what the number was when we arrived down that hill.
What is a good line?
Last year was at 2.5, and there was probably
40.
20, 25 people.
Well, the year before was 0, if I'm not
Zero.
mistaken.
You're right.
The whole thing.
I would say 8.5, 7.5.
Well, is that 40th wedding anniversary group going to be there again? It's not the same weekend, so they're probably out. It's a Wednesday morning. I think it's got to be low.
You back to 2.5 again?
It feels
Come
like
on.
I'm saying over 2.5.
oh,
I would say like under 4.5. I think you got to set the line at 4.5.
4.5.
hmm.
God, it's a
Interesting.
interesting line. I would love the under. The under would be great, but I have a feeling it might be over again.
It is interesting. Jay, what's the tee time for Mines this year? Remind me.
The first tee time is at 10:04 for the Mines. I've got some inside info on what's going on at the course, so I won't be participating in the line setting or the betting on that particular.
Jay, we'll talk
Or-
offline.
Or do we throw a bone to those who have stuck around to the end?
I
Yeah,
think if you've made it this far, you should get the hint.
Esser's fucking itching for the edge. He wants it. I can see it.
So if guys have made it this far, there is a event at the course later in the day. So there won't be 20 to 25 people there. We won't be sharing space on the mats for sure in the morning, but they also have a tournament on the weekend. So I assume that there will be people there playing practice rounds also in the morning, trying to prepare for the Grand Rapids City Amateur. So Vegas has taken that into consideration. If it ends up on the betting sheet, then it'll be probably a well-researched line.
As they always are.
Yeah.
Never are.
All right.
What other props are we looking at? What did we miss here? What are we hoping's on the gambling sheet, or what do you think would be just fun?
The return of Michael Bomarito, 2026.5.
2026.5.
So next year or not next year.
Correct.
I mean, I have dollar bills on him being there this year.
Really?
It might be a Wednesday phone call.
I guess.
No, boots on the ground. Boots on
I
the
like
ground.
it. I like it in 26.
I think it's got to be 26. He's got to make the return. He was part of the first one. We haven't seen him since. I think he's got to be due to come back.
I'm
It's
rooting
Fair
for
to
it.
say, if it's not 26, it might not be ever.
That is exactly what I was just about to say. I'm rooting for it, but it may never happen again.
I'll throw this out there. Prop bet. Who plays in the next Who plays in the Kickstart first? Michael Bomarito or Connor Fedoruk?
Fetty's for sure minus odds on that one.
Yeah. Betty's way minus on that, but
I'll still take Fetty. Fetty wants to be here for sure. I haven't heard from Flop in a minute. I don't know.
I don't think I've heard
He
from
might
him
have
in the group
changed his
chat.
number.
Yeah, I haven't heard from him in the
'Cause
group
I'm
chat.
in like 6 group chats with him. The only one
The
he ever
last time-
texts in is the Red Wings one.
Last time I heard from him in anything Kickstart was when we had him on the podcast last year in like November.
no, 2 years ago, wasn't it?
It was 2 years ago.
It was before his first dropout.
Yeah, yeah, it was that long ago.
Like 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Impressive. I'll
Poor
take
guy.
Fetty in that prop.
I would take Fetty too. As much as I
Yeah.
would love to see the guy back in it, but
Give me the fish.
ish.
I'll
Fish.
take the fish as well.
What other props we got, fellas?
Preston, you have any?
I have Cody and Esser to play on the same team.
Mm.
Minus 200 for yes, and plus 150 for no.
I think we get split up this year. I think we might be enemies, me and Cody. We might have to square off. I think we might be due for that. So I'm going to say we're not playing together this year.
Yeah, I'm
Maybe
going to go
Colin
no
needs
as
to-
well. I just think someone's going to get cold feet. So, like, say Carter drafts Austin. Tricky's going to be like, I don't want to miss out and draft Cody, sort of deal.
Yeah, I could see
Potentially.
us.
You could see them going in the same round.
Same round could make sense.
Yeah, I think it was different teams this year. But hey, if we get paired again, good luck to whoever's going against us.
You never know.
Best of luck.
Hey, what if I get one? I'm going to try to get the other. Just so I
That's
don't
what
have to
I'm
play
saying. This
against
isn't-
either of them.
This isn't really a portfolio you want to diversify. You kind of want to go all in or all out. So you might as well try and go all in.
If you're going
So-
to risk it on one of them, you might as well risk it on the
Yeah.
other one.
Listen, I don't this is a great like conversation topic for the whole group. Do you guys know how many matches Cody and Esser have won playing together?
Probably one.
It sounds like Esther knows.
Oh, zero. We did win one?
Yeah,
you guys
you
shit
beat
on me
Carter.
and Mac.
I
You
thought
beat-
it was we did win that. I thought it ended up being like
Yeah.
a tie. I thought we were fighting like for like a tie on you guys. We won
So
that?
You went
They've
on the
tied-
15th hole.
They've tied 3 times as partners. They've won 1 and lost 1. So
I remember a lot of ties with them. That's why I thought we assumed we tied with you.
I beat you guys both by like 9 and 10 net each, and you guys
Yeah.
finished us on the 15th hole. You guys didn't ham and egg us. You full on Bob Evans farmhouse breakfast us.
Skilleted you.
Pig and chicken.
I made like a 60-footer on 17 to keep the match going before we had to go back to play like 6, 7, 8. And you just, yeah, here you go. I was just playing for low net after that.
how about under par net rounds? Over under 4.5.
I was gonna say 3.
Last year-
Bombs 4.5.
Last year there were 3. The year before there was 1. The year before that there was 1.
I'm going to go under.
I'm
Was
gonna
the
go
line then,
over.
Jay?
What's that, Kyle?
What was the line there?
4.5.
Wow.
I'm gonna go under par gross in one of the rounds. That's been my goal.
We're getting to
Says
that.
your forward.
We got a line for that.
Yeah, I'm going to take the under 4.5. I think it's still early in the season. I think it's going to be tough to get 5 rounds of people under par. So I'm going under as well.
So I have under par gross rounds combined on the trip over under 1.5.
Over.
Ooh.
I think J-Mac does it twice.
Yeah, I like the over.
1
I
point.
just have a feeling Jay's going to go low at Stoughton for some reason.
I get the same feeling.
Like 67 or some bullshit.
How many rounds have you played at Stoughton, Jay? Will this be your first? So this will be your first time as well.
Yeah. I know I know a good amount about it. Yeah, I kind of have
Has anyone on
purposely
the
not
trip played there?
provided too much information.
I've
No,
never
I
played
think
there.
you I think
Don't
you
think-
guys have I think you guys in the practice round will be the first.
Let us know how it is. If it sucks, maybe we make a last minute pivot to Meadows or something.
No.
I don't see Stoughton doing it.
I'm probably not going to say anything about Stoughton Bray until we're huddled with our teams talking about pairings.
Is it just 4 of you guys going to that practice round?
Yeah.
You want in?
I'm riding with Colin. I don't think he's going to want to do a practice round. So if I was riding up solo, possibly, but I'll probably pass on it.
The driveway will have unlimited spots this year. Not
That's good.
unlimited, but like more. Everybody
Yeah, there's no car restriction as far as we've seen.
Yeah, there's a lot more space. How about Jake Transit to break par net? I have it at minus 210 for yes and plus 180 for no.
At
He's
any
never-
point,
Net?
any round, or total?
Any round on the trip. Any single round out of 4.
I think he does. He's going to be playing as a 5.
Yeah,
He's
I
never
think he does.
he hasn't done it yet. His scoring average is 75.63.
We have to get Yip Strickler on him. I think he does it.
I think so too. Just from playing the courses more, get more familiar with them. He'll lock it in one of the rounds.
Agreed.
I can't believe he was plus 19 last year. Matt.
He played as
It's
a
hard,
1.
man.
A 1 last year?
I think 2.
I thought it was 2.
Did I play as 3?
Sounds right.
Maybe. And then one last one I have, Preston Beard draft position. Over under pick 6.5.
Under
round.
So
6
third
pick.
round or later?
Yeah.
Round 3 pick 2 or round 4 pick 1.
Or
And
earlier
under-
or later?
So if he's picked in round 3 or earlier, the under would hit. If he's picked in round 4 or later, the over would hit. Round 4 pick
Hammering.
1 is the 7th pick.
Hammering the under.
Yeah, I think they're not going to make the same mistake twice. I think they're going to take him early this year. So I'm going under as well.
In the top 3 rounds.
This is a mortal lock to me.
Yeah.
I'll bet my Kickstart trip funds on this one.
Wow.
Go through the guys in your head. That's. You think he's going to get picked before me, Kyle?
I'm not going to run through the picks here. If I'm looking at my big board, this line is almost disrespectful. That's all I'll say.
Before Parker?
Kyle
Before
doesn't do
Colin?
anything.
I mean, we're talking range.
That's he might have a case against. Yeah, I think Preston has a good case against him. Against Colin too. Yeah, I think I like the under too. I'm going to hammer it. Kickstart funds as well, Kyle. I'll double down with you.
Mortal lock.
Yeah,
I'm not going to bet against myself. I'd say under.
join us.
I don't think it's appropriate for me to say.
Yeah,
Probably not.
yeah, probably.
The line is going to be jumping around if you had anything more to add.
Like I said, me and I've probably talked to Trick the most about the trip and the draft than any other captain. I don't think it would be appropriate for me to say.
It's interesting. I think it's a good line. I don't know. You guys don't think so, but
The 3-2 to 4-1. Yeah,
I think that's where he belongs.
I'm locked.
Whether he
Locked.
goes there, I think he at least belongs in round 3 or higher. So
I want it to be known to both captains. I do not want to be drafted before Preston. I am not.
I think it'll be all right, Kyle.
I'm not worth the pick. You say it, but I was drafted before Preston last year.
Not by
Everyone
me.
Was, so
I was drafted.
I can't control that.
Kind of.
50% control.
I just say I don't want it. I don't want it. That's smoke I don't want.
That's all I got. So
Any other lines, anybody? Or props?
About balls in the fairway on 1 at the Mines.
that is, yeah. What's the line at?
6.5.
that's impossible to you can't even see it from the tee.
It'd have to be an honor system.
Let me change. Let's say balls on the service road. A line is 4.5.
I think I've taken the over.
I mean, Dan's a lock.
All of our lefties have a pull hook problem on the whole trip. None of our lefties are slicers.
Did we add any more lefties this year to the trip with any of the new guys? Or are they all righties?
Nate's a lefty.
Nate's a
Nice.
lefty, so we did add one more lefty. Okay.
Nice.
He flares his out to the left, though. He shouldn't have a problem.
Yeah.
That's what they all think. And then you get on that tee.
Balls in the fairway and 1 would be interesting if we could have like an actual honor system on that. I would be curious to see how many would put it in there. Because actually, how about the first group? How many balls in the fairway out the first group? Because that first group you got a lot of pressure on you. You got 12 guys staring at you.
It's a wide fairway.
15.
Though.
You're going to have 15 guys watching you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
16 if you include the Ranger.
Yeah.
Yeah, the starter or the
18
big
if you
red on
include the. Are you guys supposed to be here?
Yeah. Wasn't that the Ranger or the starter?
No,
It was just a guy.
that was another player.
He just happened to be wearing a red shirt.
Oh. Classic mix-up.
Any
How
other
about
lines?
how many holes are we accused of paying for at Diamond Springs?
I'd imagine 18.
You'd hope.
You'd like to
think so.
I would pose this one. Best breakfast. Which pod?
Without
Yeah.
knowing what each pod is making, that's going to be.
My pod is making eggs and tortilla shells to have with leftover Luna. So
Oof.
That's going to be a tough one.
Oof.
I think we're sitting at minus 240 right now.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm taking
saying.
that one.
I'm jacked up about our biscuits and gravy, but that's tough to compete.
And we got 2 guys out here just airing it out.
Well, he
breaking
did.
news.
I'm not going to just give him.
I
the
already
line for
said
free.
it. I already said it in the group chat, I think.
I thought he did too.
All right, fine. We're making Belgium waffles, eggs and bacon.
Wow.
And Jake Transit has a mimosa screwdriver bar in the works.
What day are you guys? One of the days where we have to leave at 8:15? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Good luck
We
with
have
that.
I think we have Thursday morning.
Yeah, after draft night. Good luck.
No, I think
Yeah.
that's us, isn't it?
I thought that was
Maybe we're Friday. I know that we're gonna have like a 9 a.m. departure. And I tried to tell Brendan, like, hey, like, are you sure this is a good idea? And he was like, yeah, man.
You guys are the Stoughton Bray Day, I believe.
So you're Saturday, so you're chilling.
Yeah.
You're chilling. You have an 11 o'clock departure time.
No, sorry. Diamond Springs Day.
Ooh, 8:20 departure time.
oh boy. Oh boy.
We're gonna need to pivot Tim Hortons catering. Can I get 26 bacon, egg, and cheese, everything bagels?
So good.
16 ice caps.
Preston, do you have any lines or wagers to bring to the table here? Covering.
Not really. I think we covered most everything. I could see. I want to see a line between Nate and myself. Who's
Yeah.
going to be low net. And I would
Ooh.
put myself at about minus 180.
Some head-to-head low nets would be cool.
CS.
You just, yeah, all right, see us.
Irish
He's
combined.
got to go. That's all right.
Yeah.
I also got to go soon, so.
Yeah, I gotta roll.
Yeah, it's getting late.
Nate versus Presto is a lock. That was already
Yeah.
in the sheet for sure. Anything else?
No.
Fair enough. Well, we'll try and get one more pot out before the trip. We were pretty poor pacing this year. Scheduling was difficult.
Yeah.
We'll see. Maybe the next time we see you guys is the trip itself.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Yeah, good luck, Jay.
Yeah. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. For those who did stick around. Oh, there he is. I'll ask her back in. And he just left again. All right. For those who did stick around, I know, obviously a partial discussion of the pod was Justin's upcoming child. Jay, you want to let us in on what you're naming this baby when it pops?
Oh. I'll tell people.
Yeah. What is it?